All right, Maximus Analysis here for September 9th, 2015, and we see that we have some selling going on right here. They pretty much popped it up in the morning, but didn't follow through above this. Basically, it could have been like a breakout point. Again, we just want to see what happens regarding follow through tomorrow. Don't want to get too overzealous on the bull or the bearish side because they could be choppy, which it is currently. But if they get a break down below here and then follow through to break below this 1915, we could see them take out these lows. Now, it might not be overnight, but it's something that you could say, listen, they're closing really hard right now. If we look at the 15, you can see that they're definitely closing at the lower portion of the day. So we just have to respect it and go from there. So again, I don't know what they'll do tomorrow. Sometimes they can have some really choppy action, which we've been seeing. But again, the close near the lows today can give some would definitely have the tone of being more bearish than bullish, quite honestly. But again, tomorrow could be another day. We see that we have basically a flirtation with the 200-day moving average, and they got back below here. So again, we need to see what they do tomorrow. If they're going to get below this 42.40 on the NQ, then we'll look to see what's going on. Again, remember the buy signal. If you're in already from basically, what was it, yesterday, you should be probably break even already because, again, it just didn't follow through and it reversed back. So you just want to, I actually kind of like this pattern, but again, it would just want to see some follow through. And even if you had some type of, something like that on the, on there, it breaks below that, it's definitely going to crumble back to the downside. But, these things can be hunky dory. So you just want to be, you don't want to be too overzealous one way or the other. Weakest of the bunch is actually the YM. Again, you saw Apple's announcement today. They sold into it. Again, this is trading, so you're emotional. I liked actually the product that they came out, the iPad Pro. It looks to have a lot of features that would be very useful, but I'm not going to trade the stock based on that. So you can see that they're also closing at the lower portion of the day. You have Apple again giving an engulfing, but again, it just turned 4 o'clock, so we want to see if they have the follow through, and even the breakdown here below this 108 could be something that we could look for the downside, and they have some volume to it. So again, they break below that and they break below here, we're definitely going towards here. I just don't know how soon they're going to get, but you can see right now that this retracement, has not recaptured what we're looking at the 200-day moving average, and it's actually getting below it. So it's been below it for a while, actually, since the beginning of August. So I don't know if that means that the institutions have to start selling it, but again, the news was today, and we'll see where it goes. So you had other momentum names kind of break down. You have Priceline that gapped up and then kind of faded down. Again, you want to see it break below this low and see if it potentially get this gap. Okay, if they break below these lows of 1220, then we'll see some real flooding in there. But again, you don't want to be overzealous either side because of how choppy things can get. So you had Amazon as well. Amazon actually held well, but is back against these previous lows. So again, previous lows can be used as highs, and again, if they roll below here and get below at least the previous day's low, it would be definitely a nice short setting up. You also had Facebook. Facebook, again, same type of thing in this range that we spoke about, left the lines on there, and again, it's in that gap, but again, we want to see if it's going to follow through, and again, a technical signal of a break of a low would be a lot better for that. You had Tesla. Again, Tesla, it's not as bad. Again, we want to see what happens tomorrow if they're going to break this low. Volume has been pretty low on this little retracement up. But again, you have this going on where you say, okay, I got lower highs, higher lows, where they're going to break. And again, we'll look at the prior trend to see how they've been moving. But again, you could say this is at the top of kind of like, well, you could kind of say it's a breakout of the channel. But again, you just want to be cautious. If you went long, again, break even quickly. And if you're going to go short, below this sell signal right here, about 245.50 would say, okay, and they close below that, they can go back down and continue some type of downtrend. You had crude today. Actually, if you're short crude right now, And if you're short on the futures, we spoke about this when we had the huge, you could check the video again, I'm not BSing. I said I wouldn't want to short signal immediately, which would be this day. Came back up, gave another short signal. And again, I would be risk free right now and see where it goes. If it comes back up to this level right here, I would just say, listen, you know, there'll always be another trade, but they're breaking below and they're continuing below. And it pretty much sold all day. If you look at like a 15-minute, you can see that they pretty much were selling all the way into the close, and they continued at the low. And it would, you know, it's really been a good trade. So again, it's just continuing to the downside. But again, that's more intraday. And if you're on the daily, you know, this is crude. So again, they have the EIA report is actually tomorrow. I thought it was today. I tweeted out today, but it's tomorrow because of the adjustment with Labor Day. So again, we'll see how they shake things up tomorrow. You had bonds pretty much break. That's a pretty big move on bonds. And you had the dollar. Excuse me, dollar. You have the dollar pretty much just kind of sideways right now. So again, just looking at this, and it's just churning, but we don't know what way it's going to break up or break down. But again, looking at the ES as our, you know, we want to see what happens overnight. Again, if they break this low, we don't want to go too overzealous. Because they could snap. It's pretty much, you can see how much they've been snapping it up and down, But a clear break below this, again, I would not take just that. But if I did, this sell signal would be, you know, my stop would be right here if it broke down below here, which is far away, but maybe on the SPY, gives a lot better, you know, entry and risk reward. So we'll see what happens. Again, you know, it's wait for the holiday weekend, and glad to be back. So take care, and see you tomorrow.